Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Milan and I write under the pen name MB Kruger. I'm the proud author of 2 books and 4 novellas. I wanted to share a little bit about myself, my author journey, where I'm up to now, and I guess the plans for the future. What the plans are for this channel, what I'm looking to do into 2025, and a bit about my world and what I've created so far. So, how do I find myself here today? Well, it's a bit of an interesting story in that I'm originally from South Africa, and growing up, I used to be so fond of just, making up my own games, telling my own stories, so much so that I used to always play games with my brothers and we'd make up these imaginary worlds in which, there's certain characters and they've got different abilities and things like that. However, often you grow out of those games, but for me, that never happened. I had these worlds and people and creatures and things sort of stuck in my mind, and I thought, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I could read that or I could create something like that? And so the Echoes of Ascension series was born. I created it with the goal of writing something I would have loved to read. It's a gritty science fiction series based on authentic characters in, I hope, authentically created worlds. That's how I found myself writing the book. Now, if you've written a novel, you understand the amount of work that it takes to write a novel. It's not an easy thing to do, and when you write something, you believe that what you've created is the best thing that's ever existed. You are the next J.K. Rowling. You are going to create the next Harry Potter. You are J.R.R. Tolkien, and this is your Lord of the Rings. Surprise, surprise. When you write something the first time, and I was quite ambitious, I started with an 80,000 word novel. It turns out it's not that good. So my first book, I worked with a developmental editor as well as a line editor to get things to a place where it's readable and does not absolutely suck. That was the first in a planned trilogy in When They Whisper. Then I created 4 novellas to this book, a compendium and or side stories of some of the key characters. To my surprise, when I created When They Whisper, some people were really drawn to certain characters. The idea spawned that I should write and fill in some of the blanks left by my world in the first book. I ended up writing 4 novellas, filling in some gaps in the story and then telling the backstory for some of the key characters. As of yesterday, I finished the second book in the series called Talks of Peace. That is the second to the trilogy in the Echoes of Ascension series, which I am very proud of. I will say, not only can I tell, but the general and overall feedback from the beta readers was that I've grown as a writer, and I really wanted to nail home my world and the characters that I've created to add depth to them. I think I've achieved that to a large degree in this novel, and I'm very proud of what I've created. In saying that, I think as an author, you're always growing, you're always learning, and you're not perfect. That's where we are up to today. I'm very excited that the second one is out. It was also a lot of work. I've been working with a very talented team for both my cover as well as the editing involved in this book, and I'm super pumped that it's out. As of yesterday, I've published over 250,000 words, which I am very proud of. That is a lot for some. That is a less than a single book for Brandon Sanderson. So for me, that is a lot. Raising a family of little ones and having a wife and having a full-time job, that's the most I can do at this stage of my life, and I'm very happy and proud of that. That is a bit of background as to what I've written so far and how I got to be here. So what's next for this channel, number 1, and number 2, what's next for me as an author? Firstly, I guess the channel is 2 things. It's a landing pad for viewers like yourselves to find me, see what I'm up to, see what I'm busy with, see what I'm writing, number 1, and then what my plans are for the future for my author and writing career. Rassie Erasmus, the rugby coach for the South African rugby team, the best coach to ever live, has said something very important that stuck with me, is let the main thing be the main thing. I love YouTube. I love consuming YouTube. I like following different YouTubers, but I am a writer first. And if I ever want to make this into something substantial, I need to write. So this year, the plan is, the second part to this channel will be reviews. I enjoy watching review channels, so I thought, why not give it a shot myself? From an author's perspective, it would be good. I think it would be quite cool to see and look through the author's lens and provide you guys some feedback and insight as to how we view things. Now, I'm a big consumer of video games, series, and movies, like I'm sure many of you are. So I would love to review things like The Penguin, which I think is going to be the first thing we're going to review, and showcase how I look at characters and view them, and oftentimes judge them or not. Spoiler alert, it is an amazing show, so if you haven't seen it, do yourself the favor. That will be the second part to this YouTube channel. Looking at 2025, I've got a lot planned. Here's my invitation to you. If you give me your email down below, a few things will happen. Number one, you will get my first novella that I've written, absolutely free, sent to you immediately. You can start reading if you wanted to see what I write. The second bit to that is this year I will be writing 6 novellas. I will be sending you these novellas as I write them throughout the year. If you wanted to check me out, that's all I ask. Pop in your email down below, you'll get basically 7 novellas for the price of your email throughout this year. If then you decide you really like what I've got to write, you can go on ahead and purchase my ebook or hardback or paperback from Amazon. That is the plan for 2025, is to write 6 novellas, 4 of them being attached to the Echoes of Ascension series / the Galaxis universe, and 2 of them will be completely new creations and new works that I've got planned, probably for a series down the track. This video is an introduction to myself, but also I really wanted to give you something valuable and something to look forward to as we journey through YouTube and start this YouTube thing together. Last but not least, I wanted to share a bit about my world and what I've created. I've created a gritty science fiction story about flawed characters and authentic worlds. I think for me as an author, the moment I set out to write, I wanted to stray away from the norm. Now, that is scary when you hear a new author talk about not wanting to stick to the norm. What I never wanted to do was write something that's boring, or something that will not make you think about things. That means, for me, that means authentic characters, authentic worlds. To give you an example, I really do believe that war is glamorized oftentimes, where in reality war is very brutal. And although my worlds play off in a science fiction world, war is treated with the reverence it's supposed to be treated. It's not pretty. Things happen, people die, things that you as the reader might not like, but it's important to follow these things to their natural conclusion, because it showcases, I guess, authenticity. And that's the one thing I really wanted to leave you with, is that my aim as the author is to write authentic worlds with authentic characters that stay true to themselves. It's really something I'm very passionate about. So if that's something you're interested in and something you might want to read, then I might just be your next, might be the next book you pick up. I will say this though, and I say this with the utmost love. I am definitely not everybody's cup of tea. If you like a really feel-good story, like a Star Wars or a Star Trek type deal, I might not be for you. My influences are from Dune, some grittier novels and series and things like that, which sort of really looks at the human heart and the condition and how we process emotions and things like that. So I fully understand, and I love those series. I'm an avid Star Wars watcher. I love those kinds of books and or movies. So there's nothing wrong with them. I'm just telling you what I like to write, and I'm hoping that you like to read that. So I'd love to see you in there. I'd love to hear what you think of a new author just jumping up on your screen. You're obviously looking at this video, which is awesome, so thank you for that. So I'm looking forward to sharing more thoughts and things in the coming month, and or jumping into the series where we start reviewing The Penguin. I will see you there, and thank you so much for being here.